Okay. So this is Edge of the Empire breaking and entering. Um, you three unfortunate or fortunate, depending upon your point of view, souls have been selected by Troonol the Hut um, to go on a heist. He uh, wants a slave, and that slave belongs to another Hut. So you guys would make your way, obviously, to his palace on Nalhutta itself. Um, the clan Kunalak, is a particularly militant and traditional Hutt clan. Their main spheres of influence are like the Hutt fleet and things of that nature. So they're quite military. And Trunot himself was a warrior at one stage, very unlike a Hutt to do that. He now, even now, is quite well muscled in his upper body, which is almost a bizarre thing to see. You would A lot of Hutts, modern Hutts, you would know, would think that physical exercise is beneath them, that it's something that peasants do, but clearly not true. No. So he'll bring you into this huge sort of cavernous, echoing throne room where he sits upon a floating sort of repulsor field, um, and you would be like forced to walk all the way across this massive room while he just sits and lounges at the other side, smoking a comically large cigar with a little protocol droid next to him. And there's nobody else in the room, which is unusual for Hood as well. They tend to like hangers on and music and all that sort of stuff. It's very Spartan here. Um, as you would approach, he would begin to speak, and his little droid next to him would say, Lord Trunol desires a particular slave. He wasn't able to secure her services at a recent auction and was embarrassed by Sinasu of Clan Gorensla. This will not stand, and he wants the slave. Trunol realizes that stealing from a hut is a dangerous and difficult job, but he believes that you are capable of it. If you are able to retrieve the slave, he will pay each of you 2,000 credits, plus whatever you can take from the vaults of Sinasu.
Well, this ain't the first time I've nabbed a slave. The important thing is that it arrives on time, though, and I'm going to make sure that happens. 2,000 is a square deal.
The Hut nods. He likes your forthrightness. Um, the slave will be at Sinasu's palace on Kor Gorensla, not the actual moon itself, but one of the many satellite moons. Sinasu makes his home on Nar Veloto. Get the slave and anything else you can take from there, if you so wish. Being a Hutt palace, it will be filled, of course, with art and relics that Sinasu has collected over his long life.
And Crom's head will pander from left to right in the room that he's being part of the audience of, and he'll say, that'll do just fine.
The slave is a Twi'lek, a female Twi'lek, pink of skin, and apparently a rare beauty. The slave's name is Unala.
Well, a Twi'lek named Unala. Pink happens to be one of my two favorite colors. I think it's all a go.
The Hutt is taking a drag on his cigar, and when you say that, he this big booming laugh echoes around the chamber.
And Crom is he's not slow to slam the drink he's been holding the whole time as the laughter just cascades around him.
Sinasu Huta Ucha Troonol Wanaga. Lord Troonol has acquired you tickets to a soiree that Sinasu is throwing in celebration of his acquisition. You have acquired this invitation. If that's how you would like to get in to the palace, that is one option. Of course, if you have other means of acquiring the slave, Lord Troonol trusts your judgment.
And Crom will look back to his party and they'll say, "Well, if I'm going to get into that party there, that soiree, I don't know if these clothes will do. What I've always known is if you want to get your hands dirty, you got to run them through your own hair."
That's a good line.
Brago's trying to be implacable this whole time, engage, match the seriousness of Trulu's negotiation. But when Crom says that, even he like cracks a smile across his like pockmarked and battle scarred cheek. You just see it a little there, standing next to him.
Yeah, the Hutt will bellow another laugh. He seems jovial, despite his reputation, and surprisingly respectful for Hutt. The droid will say, "Do you have any further questions?"
And not having too much more to ask, he'll say, "Well, we can. I think acquiring this Twi'lek ain't a problem." And he'll look back though, hesitant, waiting for any possible questions that his two mates might have.
Oh, I am, yeah, I am ready to execute your will, honorable lord. And with that, Chenwix will bow and just kind of walk, step back one step.
Now you're in service to this particular Hutt, is that right? Yeah.
Yes. So.
Yeah, he'll look down at one of those ridiculous monkey lizards that the Hutts like to have around them. This little beaked monkey, and it'll look in your direction as you bow and take a step back. Yeah, and it'll giggle and it'll throw a piece of fruit at you. It'll hit you right between your far-spaced eyes and kind of run down the front of your face.
I will not react to that as much as possible.
The Hutt finds it hilarious. He even takes his little hand and like rubs extremely hard the head of this little monkey lizard, which tries to scarper away.
Crom has to hide a little laugh behind it as well when he sees the fruit flying.
I'm just shooting the monkey lizard a glare of like, try it.
So with any further questions, if you don't have any more, you would be...
I just nod to Trollo as after his interpreters finish the terms. Like they'll have a billion questions, but yeah, he's not in the what's the word? In the game of like negotiating, asking questions and the like, because of his soldier background. He hears the job and he'll go do it, despite how good or bad, easy or hard he thinks it will be.
Mm-hmm.
He is internally, though, extremely worried about what the other Hutt will do once his slave goes missing, and then a peculiar and unique bright pink Twi'lek appears in the court of Trollo. But yeah, he'll be long gone by then. Famous last thoughts.
I don't know if I actually don't know what you guys like look like or what your kind of thing is. So we kind of have a human soldier type dude.
Yeah, we've never met before, so that makes sense. I was a merc called in for this job by Trollo. It heard good things, and so here I am. I'm not sure if you can see my overlay picture, but that's the long and short of it. Maybe darker hair and a bit more scarred.
If I turned on my streaming settings, I could see that. God, I'm an idiot. Let's see here. For my part, I am an Ithorian with a kind of a beast-eyed, he looks like a tough which is probably unusual for one. And instead of an actual decent weapon, he has a miner's beam drill. Now, I don't know if he's got that because it's the Hutt that gave it to him as a reminder of this place, or if it's Chenwix's little act of defiance. I don't know what sounds more interesting to you guys.
I would say it's more likely that the Hutt has given you that
as a reminder of this power.
Yeah, just because it can, you know. You don't get a real gun; you get this little mining laser. Enjoy.
Crom, he's a human in his 30s, and he's just got blown back on Canter and some heavy like just greaser clothes on, and he's not even armed right now here with the Hutts. He normally, unless he pulls it out and tucks it into his belt, his blaster stays right in the cockpit of his ship, tucked under the console.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, so once the droid has finished his protocol and discussion with you guys, Troonol would reach into a flabby fold of his skin and pull out this little frog and just crunch loudly, fucking goo coming out of his mouth as he licks it with his enormous tongue. And the droid says, "You are dismissed."
Yes, Honorable Lord.
Yeah, I'll just bow once, but more militaristically than like fitting of a noble court. Like a snap of attention, then turn on my heels and go.
And yeah, Crom, he does a similar bow while exiting.
Let's see here. So I guess I'd turn to one of you guys and ask you, where shall we go from here? Where should we go from here?
Well, hop in our ship, the Crone, and I guess, geez, I didn't actually make any notes in there. Was it Gorgorencia? Is that where we're going to pick up this pink-skinned Twi'lek?
A satellite moon of Corentha, I believe.
So, it's the palace at Cor Gorensla, which is on a moon called Nar Velato around Cor Gorensla. So Cor Gorensla is a throne world of this particular clan, Sinasu's clan, but it's not really habitable, and so there's all these moons around that they build their things on instead.
And I suppose I'll start pumping away into the astrogation for Cor Gorencia, or this moon, Nar Velato. I've not been there before, but they're welcome to meet me.
May I ask you all what do you think, how we should go about doing this? I'm not exactly one used to such things.
Whatever we do, we better do it fast. Quick and easy.
So you are of the opinion that we do a smash and grab?
Well, smash and grab might be the last plan protocol. Maybe we can get in there without being seen.
I like that much more. Let's see here. As for myself, you can. Well, it was probably obvious in there, but all I am is the cheap muscle that the Honorable Hutt has so graciously decided to lend you.
How kind of him.
Well, let's see here. I do perhaps know a person or two that we might be able to get into touch with if we wish to try some underground channels. But other than that, I should defer to both of you good sirs.
I'm going to wait to see what Crom speaks. I'm assuming I don't know him, so I'll use this as a chance to feel him out a little.
Well, if you got contacts there, best going to be applied to the situation. I don't know anybody down there, but I know if we're going to get in there on the books, it might be tough getting out on the books.
Well, I should say by contacts, I mean I know how to contact people. My apologies if I misspoke. So yes. in that case, I guess we are as prepared as we can be. Am I to understand, Crom, that you are a mechanic of some skill?
Yeah, I like to get my hands dirty, as I was mentioning earlier.
The weapon my master so graciously bestowed upon me is an excellent weapon, but I do believe that it could be improved somewhat. I do have some money and perhaps time. Uh, sorry. I do have the funds necessary to possibly acquire the materials, but I lack the expertise.
Well,
Um,
I'm always ready for a new contraption to pull apart and put back together. But it sounds like you just need me to slap something onto an already existing product. That sounds
well,
easy enough. Sounds fun too.
actually, in this case, I am wanting mechanically. I'm wanting a modification to an attachment, so it actually needs a legit, decent mechanics roll. Um, this thing, the drill that I got has a custom grip on it, and one of the
It's,
modification, its only modification gives it the accurate one mod, which would make it a slightly more practical weapon. Um, Considering that right now it's inaccurate one, so it would either cancel out or I'd be um, throwing in a boost and a setback.
Well, when we get to the Crone, our ship, the freighter, uh, Crom would be quick to lead you over to just a corner that has a lockbox built into the hull, and he just opens it up and he slaps out his tools, and he's right about to like start working for you, but he's humming and hawing. He's like, well, he says something about credits.
Yes, I believe 100 credits is the amount required for the whatchamacallit, for the pieces, and then I believe the time it should take would be should you say be worth 50 credits for you?
Oh hell, 100 credits, 50 credits, 150, and the first round of drinks. That sounds good to me.
All right. Well, I will get rid of 150 credits, and you're probably going to have to roll in mechanics against the difficulty of hard to see if
Cool.
this works.
Yeah, I got 4 agility and
Is
two
that
ranks. So
is that right for
uh,
mods? I think so.
I don't know how this
I'm
works.
not familiar with
Okay.
This
Uh,
this
in
mechanic
that
of
case,
like upgrading stuff. So I'm gonna just
yeah,
say whatever you think.
it is a hard difficulty for the
Okay.
first one.
So
So
3 or
three
4.
purples,
3
three
purple.
purples, hmm
All right.
and we'll just hope.
All day.
Wha-
I gave you a 2
Oh,
success there.
thank you.
Looks good to me. And he just whips the gun around, looks down the barrel, and then hands it off to you with the butt pointed at you and the barrel under his arm.
This is actually essentially a beam drill, which is almost like it's a mining drill essentially. So it's more like a melee weapon.
Some of the best swoopbacks I ever rode had speed holes drilled all in them.
This very much might look. I think this looks to you more like a welding torch than a thing. Anyways, that's kind of how I imagined it, because they don't have art. But thank you very much. I guess that probably is being taken care of like over the journey.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. We didn't roll Destiny, which we should do. So if everyone could roll a Force dice, Nico, that's the white dice. I don't know if you have the roller up.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got it here.
Oh, that's my
Um,
first light side point that I can remember at least. I've always rolled dark.
and I roll here. Oh, why is this not? There
I
we
got a
go.
white circle. I'm not sure what that means.
Ah, there we go. The
That's
darkness.
good. So at the start of the game, you roll Force to see like where the Force is leaning, if it's light or dark. These are kind of like fate points or inspiration from 5e a little bit. You can use them to like upgrade one of your dice from a green dice to a yellow dice, and the yellow dice are just flat out better. And a house rule that I have is that you can use 2 dice to have a sort of Deus Ex Machina moment, like something convenient, like there's a speeder in the corner when you really need a speeder. Um, But then once you use them, they turn dark side, and then I can use them to do a similar thing.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and I think you can use them to like get really small things that you totally should have had on hand. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, did you remember to bring a glow rod for this? Flip over a destiny point. Yes,
yeah,
I did.
exactly.
Great. You guys aren't going to be alone in the dark with that horrifying creature.
Yeah, so it's actually a lot like fate points. But yeah, it's pretty nifty. So we have that sorted. Yeah, on the trip, you guys, it's not a difficult astrogation. In fact, it's easy enough that you don't even need to do you're already in Hutt space, so it's not going to be far.
Oh, cool.
So you can punch in the coordinates or whatever, and it'll only be a couple of hours. And in that time, you can set to your work, and clearly you are a skilled mechanic, as you managed to add this modification most expertly. So what is your plan of approach here? Are you going to try and come in as guests to the party, or are you going to try and go all guns blazing? Are you going to try and sneak in?
I suppose on that note, Cron would mention that, well, I've got no past crosses to bear with with any of the Hutts that I know of, but a man does forget a thing from time to time as he takes a little sniff out of his flask from under the console right by his light blaster, and he says, "Do you got any plans for approach? I do own the crone, but I am wanted by many different collection agencies. All I'd rather not to talk about."
Well, if he had wanted subterfuge, he possibly would not have hired us. Let me see. We could go in as invited guests and then make our way from there.
Why not half and half? Why not two of us go in as guests and the other as a distraction? And then when the distraction's up, we nab the girl, the tentacle head.
What about this? I like it. We get in there. What if we bring tribute? What do they have in this Narvalato or this Corgarenzia? Should we consult some of the data we have on tow?
If you think it will help, Crom.
And,
actually, I think my character would call you Krelo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
He go by anything, even Buster or Greaser or Hey You. Yeah.
Gearhead.
And,
I guess it would be knowledge underworld probably to know what kind of gift is appropriate for a Hutt, or these particular Hutts.
Yeah, and that we might be able to get either on the moon or the station itself, or the final port. I got some intellect I can throw on that. I don't got any ranks in it, but I'd rack my brain for it and maybe check any databases I might have available.
I have Streetwise, and if I spend a fate point, I mean a destiny point, I can use that Streetwise as if it was an knowledge skill, any knowledge skill, as long as
I would say the best way to do it is that you do the underworld to discover what you need, and then you can use your Streetwise to acquire it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is I can actually use the underworld like it was a knowledge skill.
Oh, okay. You Streetwise
talk the talk.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Any information gathered by success should may be suitably embellished by the GM to reflect its criminal and underworld origins. So this is kind of like almost me of having kicked around before and remembering things.
Right.
It
okay. That's
cost
cool.
that destiny point. We okay with me getting rid of a destiny point for this?
Sure.
All right. And what is the difficulty for kind of knowing?
So are you looking for? I guess this is how specific you want to be. Do you want to look for what would be appropriate for a Hutt in general, or for this particular Hutt?
That's what I want to look up. Is well, actually, what's available that any Hutt might like that's there.
Okay.
For mine, anyways, because
Yeah.
I'll roll 1 too for Underworld.
Okay.
Sure.
For me, it'll be about that specific hut.
Okay, so let's call that 3 then for the specific.
Okay.
2 for the just what
Yeah.
might be available.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
All right, I
right.
got a success and a threat.
Okay,
I got an idea for it.
excellent. Hit me.
I think I have a good idea, like where we go to get it, even right when we land. But the guy, like, he's probably Dark Sun. For the threat. Like you'll probably want my ship or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, though.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And I guess I'll roll for just advantage.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think maybe the advantages be that maybe if you can like who you could find to ask. Maybe you know somebody who works for this hut that you could like try and wring some information out of, but you won't know yourself.
Yeah, it's like I don't know anything about that specific hut, but I know like a person that works for him type deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I
so-
forgot. My skill was just for what's available, not for somebody to know, though.
Oh
Or
yeah.
okay. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So gifts that are appropriate for a hut, they like things that are exotic to them. So it's going to be difficult to find something exotic around their home system. As a tribute, anyway, they like things that are exotic. But even in their home system, you could get them some of their favorite foods, like weird foodstuffs. They're very keen on that. I guess like what would you say? Like hookahs, things of that nature. They also enjoy a great many kinds of narcotics, all of which you could probably find in the surroundings
Cool.
around there.
So maybe the same thing will work. I know what they want and how to get it, like in any spaceport, but of course it's Dark Sun. It's like they want it. And so maybe I'd want to keep a low profile or send one of you two in or something like that.
Yeah, because having another crime organization know that you were around at the time something went down, probably not good for you in a lot of ways. Granted, you probably wouldn't tell us that, but that's a good idea not to say.
So in character, I guess Crom would say something like, "Yeah, I can point you in the right direction when we get there, but I can't be the muscle on this one."
Like, I ran into someone that works for Troonol. I don't remember. Let's see here. It's been a while since I talked to him, but we might, if it comes to that, we might want to think about talking him up or her.
I think you're right.
But,
And I think the best way so far, and I've not dealt too much with the Hutts, but the best way of dealing with them is to bamboozle them with all sorts of trinkets and treasure, and then get the hell out the door when you can.
So, I guess the big question is, if we were, I keep on changing voices. I guess the question is, if we are planning to split ourselves up, who should be on the inside and who should be on the outside, and what should we be attempting to do? Are we?
It's a good question.
And my general thoughts would be to have the two people that can be the bull or be the Ronto in the porcelain shop, be on the inside and support on the outside, but I do not see why we cannot all be in the same place at the same time. Sorry, I'm not too terribly good at this whole planning crimes thing.
Well, I'll go in with you. It ain't much skin off my back. We've got to get it done, and I don't know if we got the credits to pay for enough tribute anyways. We might just have to rob Peter to pay Paul, if you know what I mean.
Well, we do have tickets in, so I guess it is a question of whether or not we let them know kind of who we are. We're being on the official guest list. It does sound like the more ballsy move, and if we screw up royally, perhaps that will be enough to save our skins.
Well, I'm not going to deny it. Any less mix-ups is all the better. So maybe that's a problem we just avoid altogether, and we'll just
Okay.
make our entrance in our parlay.
Okay. So the plan is essentially to keep it simple.
Yep.
Go in, party as well as we can, and then figure it out from there. So the plan is to not plan.
You're way
And Thomas,
ahead
you would
of
know.
me. Way ahead of me.
You would know for sure, having been in servitude to Troonol, that this like palace you're going to, that's going to be like the home of Sinasu, like where he brings all of his nicest stuff that he's acquired in his whole long life. And you know that means security protocols. That there'll probably be various kinds of security protecting the vaults. So he'll have like areas where he keeps his stuff to look at. And you would think that's where most of your money would come from this job. The 2,000 credits are good, but you'll get more money definitely if you can manage to steal some of the other stuff that's there. So you would think that there's probably going to be significant security, sort of. What would you say? Yeah, just a lot of security. Yeah, not only presence, but also like things like laser grids and stuff of that nature. So yeah.
I guess in this case we should, yeah, okay. I would think we should probably go in and I believe the term is case the joint.
Perfect. Yeah.
And from there we would see here. I guess I've been to enough of these type of places to where I can help somewhat. Maybe even act like some of the guards for a while. I'm not too confident, but I look the part, I think. See here, and I guess our good technician might know more about the security stuff than I do once we're inside.
Oh, yeah.
So perhaps.
Let's get ourselves in there and get our eyes on the prize. I wouldn't be surprised with the pink Twi'lek in this Hutt's ownership. You wouldn't have her out for everybody to see. I would.
Why else would you have a beautiful slave if not to show her off? I'm guessing she'll be front and center.
I'd rename my goddamn ship.
Yes. So I guess the priority is to get you, Crom, into a place where you can take care of the understand and take care of the what defenses are going to be relevant to us in one way or another.
What do you think? Should I leave Betsy behind or take her with me? And he pulls out his light blaster, whips it up, as if it's a threat to anyone.
I believe this is the type of soiree where it would be odd if you did not come armed. Your best type of armament in these type of places is, you would not expect this, I think, but politeness and respect. It is when those boundaries are crossed upon that it turns immediately to violence.
Well,
at least that is my experience, and possibly why I now do not speak as I used to.
Yeah, and Crom will he'll just stick his light blaster in the front of his pants then.
That is sufficiently fringy. Not fringy. That's not a good word. Yes, that looks sufficiently rough. You already did look pretty rough, but that works even better, hopefully.
And Crom will just slap you on the shoulder.
So you guys come out of hyperspace, and you can see there's like a bunch, or there's three, I should say, moons, and then between the moons and around the planet in general, there's a sort of asteroid belt, almost like a ring. And some of these asteroids are big enough that you can see settlements on them, palaces to, I guess, lesser huts. But one of the moons is where Sunasi makes his home. Yeah, you can see it's clear to approach. Now, if you wanted to try and buy some stuff first, if that was the idea, you'd probably have to land on the throne world of the leader of the clan, as that's where the actual city in quotation marks is.
I think our Thorian crewmate, he made a good point about not really needing to seek out items, just use the entrance we've already been given, and see where we can get on our social graces.
So as you approach, then you'd hear you get a hail, and it would be greetings and welcome to the throne world of Sunasi. Who dares approach?
You got Cor Crelio here in the Crone. We're coming in. We got three VIP attendee tickets. We're going to see your hut.
One moment, please. And then a shockingly long time later, like 3 or 4 minutes, which is just comically long, when all he has to do is like type your name in, comes back and he says, "Very well, Crom. It seems that you are clear to land. Follow these coordinates," and all this shit bounces up on your screen.
And Crom had already like gunned it right when the response started. He just assuming he's given the go, and yeah, he'll start following the coordinates given.
Yeah, so you fly over what looks like a triangular palace, and you can see that there's a building on the outside of each line of the triangle. This is the dot on each side of the triangle, basically, where there's another building. And you're brought to a landing field, and there's quite a lot of things parked here, ships of various different types. You might even recognize 1 or 2 of some of the rougher customers that you'd be familiar with. Yeah, and you can see that it's definitely busy as you land.
Well, Crom will definitely, as he's casting the ship over all these other vessels of beauty, he'd say, "Well, look at all these pretty little maidens lined up in a row. Hasn't Crom done himself well?" And he'll slow down, which is uncharacteristic, as he flies over him and he just takes in the eye candy. But then he'll bring her into land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you land, you're greeted by a hideous Gamorrean standing outside the ramp of your ship. He says, which you know means, "Follow me, filth." And then he just begins walking.
And Crom will follow him uncomfortably close.
I think before we left, I would probably say something to the effect of, "Crom, if it is all right, it would probably be best to cast me as your bodyguard, or someone of that stature. Would that be acceptable to you?"
Well, that fits me just fine. But don't bump into the tools. And he's got a very sleek backpack strapped to his back. And it jangles as he shakes.
Understood. You should... Yes. Thank you.
So just give me everybody, if you don't mind, a perception check as you're moving
What do I roll for that?
If you have a look on your sheet, you should have a perception skill.
Yep.
So you click those dice into the dice roller.
So 1 green. Okay.
And then also the difficulty. Sorry, okay. So when you roll in this game, you also have to have like a difficulty generally, and then the two are combined into a dice pool.
But for having 1 in the skill, you'd get 1 yellow dice, and you start the pool with your green dice. But then, because did you say you have 1 check in perception?
No, I'm not trained in it or skilled, whatever it is. I've got no dot there.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So then, if you want to just roll again, it would be a green and 2 purples.
2 purples.
Okay. And this is for everyone?
Well, Lloyd?
Yeah. just so you can figure out how it works properly.
Huh.
I flatlined her.
We see nothing.
Yeah, you don't see anything. So just to explain to you, Nick, how it works, so it's seen all these different symbols, or whatever. Some of them cancel each other out. Like the first symbol you have there is advantage, and the third one is threat. Those are opposites, and they cancel each other out. The triangle is the opposite to a success, so that's a failure. So if you had explosion, that would be a success. So you just fail. You don't see whatever it is. Nor does Chrome. I guess he's too intent on standing right behind this Gamorrean. So what's your character's name, Thomas?
His name is, I should make sure I get it right, because I keep on calling him Chadwick when it is really Chenwix.
Chenwix. Okay.
Chenwix, yep.
I guess you don't necessarily see, but you get the impression that there's a sort of a bustle going on in the small building outside the large one. So you're going into this huge triangular palace, and directly opposite the door, maybe 200 feet away, is a small sort of dome building with a bunch of antenna and stuff on top. You get the impression that something is going on in there.
Okay, so I kind of like mentally note that one of the satellite facilities has a lot of stuff going on that doesn't seem to be related to the party, I'm guessing, since you were saying it was chock full of like tech.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think because of the advantage, all you would kind of figure is something going on there, and that's
Okay.
Yeah.
Slightly unusual even for a party. Gotcha.
Crom's oblivious, though, of course. He's a cock on the walk.
So the Gamorrean brings you to these ridiculously ornate doors, almost circular, but 30 feet tall, just huge, ornate doors. Huttese architecture tends to be very circular, a lot of domes and stuff like that. And as he approaches, he nods to several other Gamorreans who pull on these massive chains, and then the door is like swing open into surprisingly small hallway. I guess the outside is just for show, maybe. You enter into this small little hallway, but then that kind of opens up into this very, very large circular room from which you can hear music playing. You can see people dancing. There's a bar set up on the far side from where you are, with 3 different bartenders, and they're busy. The place is packed full of all kinds of people and aliens. And you can see on the opposite side of the bar, on a stage, and on top of the stage, on a repulsor sort of sled, is the Hutt himself. Enormously fat, not at all like Troonol. Definitely a what you would consider a traditional Hutt. Very, very fat. He has makeup on his face. He looks kind of dandy-ish, if you can imagine a Hutt looking like a dandy. And having a quick look around, you don't see any sign of the Twi'lek herself. There are lots of Twi'leks dancing, but none of them pink. There is a doorway, I guess more of a hall, leading directly up from where you are, and then to the left and to the right. And so when you look down there, you can see a Gamorrean standing at each door, and right behind him there's like a laser field, like an orangey sort of laser field, and if you took the time to look, every 30 seconds it goes off, but there's another one behind it which is on, and then that one goes off, the other one comes on the front, and then another one behind it goes off. So there's 3 different laser fields at different times going on and off, but there's always 2 up.
If Crom gets a sight of that, he'll say sort of under his breath. He'll let the pig-faced man leading us get a few steps ahead, and he'll just speak to his party or to Krelix or Chenwix and his other crewmate, and he'll say, "Geez, what's the deal with that? I mean, they trying to save money or something? Why not have them all on?"
I just shrug. I'm not a security expert.
Maybe it's buggy. Maybe he needs a guy to get under the hood, fix her up.
I think a military man would know that the power packs or whatever for these gates, they heat up very quickly. And so you need to give them a little bit of time to just like cool down every couple of seconds, otherwise they'll explode. So that's why you need several different gates. Otherwise, yeah. So the laser itself is powerful enough to like disintegrate if you were to touch it.
So all Crom can think of is how he could route more power into these fields and keep them running at all times.
Yeah, that could be a way to take care of it, or make it look like they were still on. They weren't. I finally thought of a question that Chenwick's might have asked his boss. How okay he would be.
Destiny
Poe. Yeah, quite possibly. How okay, my good lord, would be with the theft being traced back to him, or perhaps even if he would prefer it known once the slave was delivered to him.
Yeah, he would have laughed and said he enjoys your thought, and that once the slave is safely in his hands, that he wants it known that he had stolen her, but only once she's safely in his hands, because he knows that Kunalak clan are impenetrable, their defenses, compared to these dandies, is what he would say.
Okay. So he's fine with, once she's in her hands.
Yeah. As long as you get her, that's the main thing. If you get caught and you don't have her, then he doesn't know you,
Yeah, yeah. So we could theoretically have people know that she was stolen, and still have her in transit. It's just that he couldn't be linked until she was safely in his care. Okay,
exactly.
That's important, I think, to know.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So no problem. You can see it's really busy in here. The music is pretty loud and pumping. There's like a thick, acrid smoke everywhere. Weird smells. It's really hot in here. Very humid. You're walking through this packed place, and the Gamorrean in front of you is just like pushing people aside, kind of parting the sea. And he's bringing you towards Troonol the Hut to introduce you, I think, and announce you. So, anything you'd like to do until that happens?
Just at the end of this Gamorrean leading us there, he'll pat him. Crom will pat him on the back as if he's saying, like, thanks for leading us here, but he'll just lean in and say, fuck off now, and push him out of the way.
Yeah, the Gamorrean will just look at you. What did you say?
None of this now, and he'll step up forward and square off to the hut.
The Gamorrean looks dumbfounded, and he almost goes to move, and then the Hutt says, "Ooh," he lifts his hand, and the Gamorrean just like almost puts his tail between his legs and walks away. And the Hutt looks, he lifts his flabby arms wide, and he says, "Utawala Troonol Hatawani." And this, of course, protocol droid at his side says, Lord Sinasu welcomes you most graciously, servants of Great Lord Troonol.
Let's see here. I guess with it.
Well, I tell you, being here, just flying in, seeing all those fancy dancy space freighters you got, and those spaceships you got lined up out front. Oh, that's where it's at, my friend. And he'll just bow and he'll say, Crom Crelio.
He nods and he says, Puta Haduna Crom Crelio Puta. And the droid says, you humans have such guttural and hideous names.
I couldn't agree with you more, my friend.
He kind of lifts a hand dismissively and says, well, the droid would say, you are free to enjoy any of the amenities here. Of course, Lord Sinasu is providing all of the drink and food that you could enjoy in a night. And if you're interested in something stronger, please simply ask. If you are also interested in perhaps watching or taking part in some of the pit fighting, you're of course most welcome. And there will be a short tour of some of the more valuable artifacts that Sinasu has acquired over his long career in approximately 1 hour's time.
Well, an hour's worth of pit fighting never hurt anyone. And Greeley will just start laughing out loud at what he's just said.
Brago will go over and take a drink with smoke wisping from the top on it and sip at it gingerly, and kind of looks like he's just casually taking the place in. Probably maybe got like a bit of a bullshit look of awe on his face, but really what he's doing is checking all the exits, counting the changing of the guards, trying to get in this like rhythm or meter inside his head that's got all these different sounds of the laser doors swishing back and on and off, and people coming and going from different doors, the balconies, all of that kind of stuff, trying to get a measure of the rhythm of the place.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do let's call that vigilance, I think. I think that makes sense. So what's your vigilance? Put those dice in and then give me 2 purples on top. Okay, no good. So it's 2 fails. So you're looking around and it's not orderly. It's very chaotic. You're finding it very hard to find a rhythm in all of this just like debauchery and hedonism going on. As you look around and you kind of see like maybe there's some sort of rhythm. The only thing that is rhythmic is the laser doors. But everything else, there's just people shifting around the place, and guards seem to be wandering aimlessly sometimes, and sometimes there are 3 guards at the gate, and sometimes there's 1, and sometimes there's none. It's just chaos from what you can see.
Crom will he'll use like some of hopefully garnered a little laughter with his joke of the hour pit fighting not hurting anyone, and he'll use that to try to just like back into the crowd, get out of the immediate peripheral of the hut, because it's his day, he's his party, and he's got Crom has different plans.
Yeah, the Hutt will once he is or the droid told you what you kind of can't do, the Hutt just turns to talk to somebody on his left. And it's clear that you're dismissed.
And Cromwell, he'll post up by... I'm sorry, Nicholas, what's your character's name? I got Chenwick's for...
Brago.
I should remember that. That was my first Mifrog name. But, yeah, he'll post up right at the bar, and he'll say, geez, there's no rhyme or reason to this place. Look at all this shit going on. And it's like this crazy party going on, Huttesian craziness. And the most rhythm coming from here is the flashing of those laser gates we saw earlier.
Chaotic security is hard to predict, I'll say, with a little bit of vexing in my voice.
This ought to quell the storm. And he's pointing to the bartender and to... like down, he needs a glass of something, and it's delivered, and he slams it back, and he'll turn back, and he's scanning the crowd for Chenwick's, seeing what he might be up to right now.
Oh, he finished his, 1 or 2 seconds worth of, flattering the Hutt, something like Troonol extends his respect, and I look forward to reporting the grand scale of this social event. And it's definitely, I think, sounds like groveling, since Chenwick isn't actually really great at being a charming person. He's just good at avoiding getting shit thrown his way. And then I think he's
a marked difference in how this Hutt reacts to your groveling and how Troonol does. Troonol doesn't like it. He finds it a bit pathetic, but this one seems to love it. He's just like lapping it up, and he's like, tell me how fat I am, He's just loving it. By comparison, Troonol is like, yeah, get out of my face. So you can tell this guy's definitely more into the hedonistic side of Hutt's life, less about duty.
Let's see here. I think for me, I'm kind of taking in just kind of the more physical side of the security, see how like the actual people. See kind of how to be like on point they are. See if they're the type that's um, how to be to see if they're like on edge or just acting normal. Because with that amount of activity before, I'm kind of curious as to uh, if anyone else is being affected. Kind of.
Sure. Let's call that perception.
Sure.
Difficulty 2.
Oh, I already had the dice roller open, and the difficulty is 2. You said?
Yes.
Cool. I'll roll. Huh.
Nice. Excellent. So you can, while you're looking around, you can see that most of the security is Gamorreans, those big pig-like dudes.
Mhm.
And while they're generally pretty good security in terms of like their intimidation factor, they definitely lack in discipline. You would know that having served a Hutt for so long. And you can see that some of them, occasionally will just wander away from their post and go get a drink, or sometimes someone will come too close to them in their dancing and they'll just lay them out with a punch. So they don't seem very disciplined. But you also see in one of the balconies above. Now, most of these are just filled with more partygoers. One of them is empty bar a single droid who has is just kind of looking down on the proceedings. He's just leaning on this bar and just like watching, almost scanning the room.
Okay. So, I guess I would walk over to let's see if I can remember people's names. Crom and Grago. I got the name wrong, I know.
Brago.
Brago.
Brago. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
that's just
posted
the
up
name.
at the bar.
Yeah, I see now. So you go over to where they are and ask for some horrible like smoothie because I'm an Ithorian.
Yeah.
And say, well, the security guards are what I would have expected. Their lack of discipline might be a weak point that we can exploit should we have to go through the more organic side of things. If you would avoid looking at the balconies, the one almost immediately behind us right now has a single droid that seems to be scanning everything. I do not know precisely what that's about, but it is unusual considering the way the rest of the guards are arranged. Let's see
Well,
here.
well, Crom says as he's staring down into the drink he's ordered, being very careful not to look up where it was just mentioned. Says, might it need a peripheral search before we take any action? I have a feeling that maybe our other Hattesian friend, maybe he wants take account of what's happening. Maybe he's got eyes on this situation as well.
He might. I may also suggest, perhaps, that I do believe the Hutt, our good host, did mention something about a tour and also a pit fighting. I could imagine from most of the times I have seen pit fights at my master's house that it would give whoever signed up access to some of the backdoors areas and at least a better mental map of the place. I
Hello.
would volunteer for such a thing if you to find it to be the most prudent course of action.
Well,
God, I'm practically a protocol droid.
I think that sounds like a brilliant plan. I think we got another way to make a little money now, too. I mean, when are you going to take your dive?
We should probably find out the rules of the
It's a
specific
done
rules for
deal.
this pit fight before determining that, because sometimes
You ain't
taking
getting
a
in the
dive.
ring, it's me, but we're going to make a little money here now. And Crom's pointing to the bartender and his drink again, and it's filled and paying us back.
Well, with that decided, I guess if that is all right with you, I will go and ask the pitmaster the arrangements.
Well, how about I do that? But you scout out the where how we're gonna make money betting on such a fight. But I'll enter you as the fighter because you are the one. You gotta at least go around it too before taking your dive.
Well, I would encourage you to not force a dive until we find out precisely how vigorously cheating is discouraged here.
Cheating.
It could go
I
bad
got
for
you.
both of
I
us.
got you. So you're gonna Iron Man it. You're gonna beat him in the fifth.
Allow me to uh, what is it called? Gauge the potential opposition before we decide whether or not it's a good idea.
I like it, man. I like
Gaining
it.
more money. Yes.
I know engines,
Gain,
but you seem to know the fisticuffs. I follow you on this one. Sorry for interrupting.
Gaining more money is definitely a plus, but the main objective here is to gain more knowledge of this place.
All right,
If
man.
that
Let's
is
scout.
acceptable, of course.
Oh, definitely. Let's scout the competition.
Very,
And
very
yeah.
well.
Crom's like he's done with drinking now. He's on the job.
So you guys can walk through this swath of people to um, there's kind of like a stairway leading downwards. The opposite to like there's several stairways between obviously the big doors that lead up to the balconies or down, and one of them is standing this basilisk, this big, huge, hideous-looking alien. But he's got 3 arms rather than 4. He's obviously lost one at some stage, and he's got his uh, bottom 2 arms crossed, and the other one is leaning on his hip. And he's like chewing something.
I think we get. I think that just before we get right to him, I will say, if you would please try not to get me into a fight to the death or a lethal combat. Um,
I think they just go to 1 or 4 or 5 knockdowns. That's all.
yes, well, just letting you know what I'm good at, and that's not wanting to die, really.
Come on, win it in the fifth.
What, what I'm kind of also saying is that if I am injured in this fight, that will decrease our chances to successfully complete our mission. Good God, I sound like a protocol droid.
Understandable. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. This is just pit fighting. he starts laughing again to himself.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
I should leave this in your hands. My apologies, Master.
And he'll approach that 3-armed brute who's just standing lackadaisically, and he'll inquire what's on the docket for tonight with these fights. Anybody sound for a pound? Is it easy money to be made here? Is it tough going? Who's the champ? That's what I'm asking.
easy money at a Hutt pit fight. I think not. The current champion is Wabaka. He's a Wookiee.
Some Wookiee? Well, I'll be. I got an authority, and I think I could pace him.
And he coughs up this black goo. I'm an authority defeating a Wookiee.
You gotta see this guy. He bobs and darts and weaves. He's all over the place. But what are the terms of these fights? I gotta know.
It depends how much money you're looking to make. Obviously, the fights of the death pay better. People like to see blood.
Well, blood can be seen in all kinds of fights. Nobody has to die. You seen a little head wound open up and bleed like a sieve.
Well, other than that, we have 3-round fights.
3 rounds. Well, what about some knockdowns? And then I look back to Chenwick's.
You see him trying to school his face as much as possible, but there is clearly panic and regret at ever making this suggestion.
And Kron just gives him the thumbs up and winks.
Knockdowns. He
General
raises
silence.
an eyebrow. He's like sucking something out of his teeth.
Can I spend a destiny point to make it a protocol droid, not a Wookiee?
No, definitely not. Protocol droid.
He has a rapier wit.
Interesting. Hey, we did
Champion,
say.
there's plenty of other fighters.
Yes, there are plenty of other fighters.
Yeah. Obviously, if you beat the champ, it's big money, but yeah.
Well,
he's rough.
Well, I didn't catch your name, friend, but I don't know if we're going to be entering our friend into these pit fights. They seem pretty brutal. I would be ashamed if I did not bet on this Wookiee beating or tearing the limbs off of somebody tonight. Is he going to fight someone else tonight?
Oh yes, he'll be fighting plenty of times. What time is it?
I can take a low-grade fight. Don't worry. Just,
Oh, I do apologize. This Ithorian is got the mad craze, and he needs Wookiee blood.
What?
And I back out of his way, and I let him walk up.
This basilisk towers over you by a good 2 feet. He looks down. You think you could take the Wookiee?
No, I do believe that I would rather work my way up like a normal pit fighter. I wonder. I did say I knew some. We did say that we knew someone before with that check way back. Maybe he is also a low grade fighter or
Yeah,
security guard or something like that around here, or
Yeah,
security guard that's used as a trainer or something that weeds him out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, if I have to flip over a destiny point for that as well, totally worth it for me.
No, I like it. Let's go with it.
It's like, I mean, if Corral is still around, he'd probably know someone who could, who'd give us a fair fight. Does that sound acceptable to you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know him?
Professionally. He's a decent guy from what little contact I've had.
Yeah.
But I do believe I owe him a drink. Well, decent as in solid. That's all one needs for these type of gigs. Hopefully.
All right. Now, if you're going to bet and you're going to fight, you're going to need bands to get in here. And he reaches into this this back pocket. You can see like his ass hanging out from his trousers as he like reaches back and pulls out these two sort of metallic wristbands.
Oh, location bands or like binders?
They're just like a. Oh, you're asking him?
Yeah. Just wondering what they were, like bands, like
Oh, yeah.
some sort of binder cuffs, or.
They'll get you past all the security on the way there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's kind of like a ID bracelet.
exactly.
type deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I guess if you will, should there be one for my patron as well, or should I go in there alone? I don't know the protocol for this particular establishment. I apologize for my ignorance.
You're very polite. I don't think you're going to do too well in here. He snaps the band onto you, and he says, "Yeah, and you." Points to yourself, Crum. He takes out a different kind of bracelet for you.
Right on the left hand. There it goes.
Yeah, and then he points, and you guys can go in down this corridor. There's two laser gates, but as you approach, the wristbands beep beep, and it stops while you walk through. And then maybe 10 seconds after you walk through, it comes on again. And you go down through this kind of almost like Warren-like tunnel until you kind of hear like chanting get louder and louder, and eventually you enter into this musky, almost disgusting smelling sort of circular pit, and and you'll see people of all species just standing around shouting, cheering. You can see a bunch of shady-looking rats just like taking bets here and there, just picking up money. People slamming stuff down onto tables. And currently in there, there's a human man stripped down to the waist, thick beard, with his arms raised. Clearly has some boxing training, and opposite him is a Trandoshan, huge, hulking, who is also just using his hands. So this is clearly an unarmed match, and they're just like grabbing each other and wrestling and throwing each other around. You can see that in the pit there are several like spikes and stuff on the walls, things of that nature. Plus there are like weapons strewn across the ground, but these guys have always decided to fight unarmed. Now you can move onwards to find. What did you say his name was?
Let's see here. I made it up on the spot. It looks like it's Karis.
Karis. Okay. Let's see. I think Karis, if he works training pit fighters, is probably somebody who's good at fighting. Or maybe he's just very good technique. What do you think? What kind of species do you think he is?
I almost like that thick-bearded human dude.
That could be him.
Don't often see a fighter with the thick beard, so
yeah,
he's probably more that if you're fighting, you don't want a beard, so that guy's probably a trainer, or the pit fight fixer. So yeah, talk to that dude.
Yeah, I mean he's fighting at the moment. You can go down and see him in there, and you would recognize the contact then, Karis, and he's in there and he's swinging punches, and the Trandoshan kind of swings high with this big claw that would have removed Karis' head, but he ducks low, gets a gut punch in, and then a knee, and then keeps just punching, knees, until eventually the Trandoshan falls limp, and he raises a bloody fist into the air, and there's just like screams of rage all around the place as the rats just like pull in all these credits. Clearly the odds were against him, but nonetheless victorious. And he'll climb out of the pit covered in sweat and blood. And he'll see you. Raise an eyebrow. Huh.
Walk over. Karis, it is good to see you again. I was wondering if perhaps you could get me into some of these later fights tonight. I find myself in need of some amount of cash.
Yeah, sure, I can get you in. Are you sure you want to?
Well, I was hoping that it would be that there would be less sharp and pointy things, as I do prefer the more what do you say it? The ones focused less on the blood and gore and more on technique. But clearly, that is not your honorable master's tastes, which is completely and totally fine.
Well, there's plenty of matches you could take that aren't to the death. He says as he like stretches, and you hear like as his back like snaps. Like that one I just fought there was just to knock out. You could fight one of those.
That is acceptable to me. Is it only brawling, or should there be weapons?
That's up to you. Although if you use weapons, there's a bigger chance of you getting hurt.
Understood. I would only use stunning type weapons if that were the case. Stun only weapons would that be the case?
Yeah, that can be arranged.
When would the next reasonable slot be open? I am in no hurry, and I do believe my master would like to. I'm sorry, not my master, but what is it called when you're accompanying a higher figure? My honorable companion, whatever, would like to get a little more, soak in a little bit more of the ambiance here before I fought.
Yeah, sure. He walks over to a data pad and he's get you on in 2 fights time, about 20 minutes.
Most excellent. Thank you. I shall prepare myself.
Alrighty. Nico, are you there?
I am, sir.
So you're standing out in the bar still, right?
Uh-huh.
And I guess you've been probing and looking for like a weakness in this defense or whatever, and you've been wondering. And you can see that out um, the building opposite that you had walked past earlier. This little Rhodian dude, definitely a nerd, walks in and he says something to a Gamorrean. The Gamorrean moves and says something to the Hutt. The Hutt says something, and it's passed back in a sort of chain of whispers, and he goes back out to the other building. Now, by the look of him, he definitely looks like he's a techie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I see this happen. Does anything of it give me any cause to be alarmed, or like do I get some intuition? Like I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
of what I would like my character. Like, what is he going to do? Like he sees a tech come in and talk to his boss. Probably he's not going to do
Yeah, I think what you
anything.
would think is that that building is probably where the security controls are for like
Yeah,
the
that's a
lasers
little
and shit.
building that we heard like some commotion, or not commotion, but like there was something going on that
Yeah,
the Chenwicks told us about. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely
you would
could
reckon seeing this guy come out. You would think that's probably where the security controls are. You know, for like the lasers and all that other shit.
I'll go up to to one of the Gamorreans, not obviously as part of this exchange, but another one nearby, and just ask for directions to the restroom,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go off to walk away. Maybe like stumbling, dropping a glass, something like that, but enough to distract him, so that I can then slip away out the front door.
Excellent. Can you just give me a stealth?
I'm not going to try and like creep about. I'm happy if people see me. I just don't want that particular guard to like
Oh yeah.
stop me. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So it'd be more perception to look for a place that's to get out of. You know, I don't want to be like creeping about. I don't want to risk getting caught creeping about, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
creep.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. Deception would work as well, or
Okay, yeah, that's probably more fitting. We'll try that.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make a distraction to get out, but
Yeah.
not actually trying to sneak past, if you know what I mean. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got one green, so here goes a
and
corrosive
one
failure.
purple.
Oh, okay. Why's that?
So there's always the difficulty associated with the check. So the green is only success. So the green dice is only good things. So with a check, there's always going to be a difficulty
Okay.
as
Do you
well.
really only have one green though?
In deception, yeah. I'm not a very skillful guy. This guy's good at beating the shit
your
out of things.
skills
That
give
goes up
you
when I
a
look at
yellow
it.
die though, and you get green dice for the rest of your ability score beyond that.
Okay.
Let
In my
me have a quick
deception,
look.
like I've got no dot on the career, and I've got one green thing and no ranks.
Okay, yeah,
So I
so
still
it's just a green.
green and a purple. Uh, yeah. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I rolled them out. I didn't mean to roll that yellow, actually.
Well, that's okay because I think we can parse. Yeah, just ignore that and. God, why is it so small now? Oh, image size.
Okay, so there you go. You got 2 successes. Yeah, you just got 2 successes and then 2 threat. Okay. We'll ignore the yellow one. So you you definitely convince these guys that you're just like a little bit drunk. You drop that glass or whatever. But something goes a little bit wrong. There's some sort of threat involved. You guys have any suggestions?
Well, was he trying to dodge the droid's attention?
The Gamorreans.
Oh, Gamorreans. Well, maybe there's a precursor to what will eventually lead to them seeing it. Like, like his actions altered another action. Like, there's another group of people following him, or some other faction is observing him, and they make movements, and so he's only like a few turns away from possible entrapment.
Yeah. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. So yeah, you managed to. Deception is a total success. The Gamorreans are so they think you're a little bit drunk. You're stumbling around the place, and you're able to slip out. Is that what you want to do? Slip out towards the building?
Yeah. Follow this Rhodian.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. You're able to follow him out into the darkness, and yeah, he's walking alone over to that building.
Yeah, I'll follow him. As I said before, I'm not going to be creeping about. I don't want to be spotted creeping about. I'd rather say, "Oh, I lost my way," than try and run away.
Yeah, maybe come out for a death stick or something, get some fresh air. Um, yeah, and he walks across to this other building, and as he approaches the door, slides open, and a moment later would close behind him.
Before the moment later, I'll call out, "You there? A second, if you please."
Yeah, he'll turn around, looking slightly confused. Yes?
I've seen some Batus from Onshadar here and other nefarious folk. I've got some, what's the word? What would I say? I've got some things that I'm transporting across the system after this, and I don't want anything going missing here. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but I'll point at like his chest piece or like his uniform or whatnot. You are in charge of security, nay? Nay, D-Dog. I'll say no instead of nay since I'm not playing D&D.
Yeah. He raises an eyebrow. To some extent, yes. In charge of the electronic security.
Good. Good to see a Rhodian in charge of these operations. I'd seen so many goddamn green pigs here that feared had me believe that they were operating it. Now that I see my ships in safe hands, I'm much more put at ease. Say, isn't that a Model 3000 some sci-fi sounding sentence as I point, trying to like act interested in his nerd shit?
Yeah. He says, "Oh, this? Oh, yeah, it's nothing special." And he just goes launching into the story about how this particular wrist piece that he has is, 4.3% better at slicing than this other one or whatever. And he'll just talk.
How very interest, I'll say. Yeah, and I pretty much want to ingratiate myself to this guy, kind of like, when you're at work and one of the customers like is so interested in your work, you'll take them into your work and show them around. Yeah. Kind of like that, like,
that's a good idea.
Man, this is so much better than what I'm used to. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking these credits across this system, and I'm just like, a bit paranoid. And I saw some folk, scampering about, but they're probably, just guests to come here. But you've put my mind at ease, and I'll get his name and give him mine and whatnot.
Yeah, perfect. Chatting away to him, he will say to you eventually, like, yeah. I mean, if you're interested in how the security runs, I mean, I could show you. It's not really allowed, but I mean, you do seem interested, so yeah.
I say I would be most interested in that, but I wouldn't want to get you in trouble or anything from the boss, like. And I am supposed to be here enjoying the festivities. Look, if you can just keep it to, say, half an hour, I'll come in, but no more than that. Like, I don't want to get you in trouble, friend.
Oh, it's very, 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 very thoughtful of you. Yes. I'm Woodluff, by the way. And he extends his weird green hand.
Oh, Garb. I'll shake his hand.
Excellent. Yeah, follow me. He brings you into the security room, and it's if you can imagine, like, it's just a big circle almost with screens everywhere, and a big load of like data pads and stuff, and computers at the base. There's cameras looking at various sections of the palace, but it looks like he's the only one who works here. He has this big chair at the center, and he just like sits down and spins, trying to look cool, and he runs his fingers across some of the keys and shows you, like, oh, look, if I do this thing, then you can see over here, and if I do this, you turn these lasers up to a higher frequency without overloading the. Yeah, he's just like talking nonsense to you the whole time. But you get a good idea of what's going on here. Like, this is obviously where all the electronic security is controlled from.
Mm-hmm. And he's got his most trustworthy street smart Rhodian in charge of it.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm going to look across the different screens and see if I can see an image of a sexy pink Twi'lek.
Perception, please.
Okay.
Difficulty 1, so just one purple and whatever your perception is.
While you're scrolling through the screens, you do find one of Crom, and he's tearing a strip off his heavy leather clothing, and he's trying to affix a lanyard to the stun weapon that his friend Chenwix has been issued for the fight. So it's like yeah, I'm not looking for any mechanical advantage, just like a flavor thing. He's like tying on a
Nice.
little lanyard. He's like, yeah, you get stunned. You just wake up, grip, and bear down.
That's great. So, Nick, that's a success with a threat. So I think you look around, you can see, looking, there's all these different rooms. You can see actually, like, which will catch your eye as well. There's like an armory wing, clearly, and there's all these like weapons and suits of armor and stuff on display. One of them is a suit of Mandalorian, like old ancient armor. Which would definitely just tickle your lizard brain having a look at that. Weird blasters, weird swords and stuff in this one chamber. Another one has art from all across the galaxy. But then you'll find eventually this chamber where in a cage, like a laser cage, there is a naked Twi'lek female, and she has her hands, even though she's in a cage, her hands are also like in these steel mittens bound together, and her neck is chained to the base of the cage that she's in. Also in that room, though, there's some sort of hound, some sort of dog. Looks like a lizard and dog combined. And then there's like this enormous, just hideous sort of slug bed, like slimy sort of bed, and then a bunch of other like pieces of art and stuff hung up.
Now, is she put on a display, or is she in like a private cage?
Private cage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll make a mental note of that, where she is and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like make any like comment about her or anything like that to this guy. I'm already cutting a pretty fine line, I think.
Yeah, I think the threat, because you could roll a threat, will be that he notices your gaze linger a little bit on the Twi'lek, and he says, "Oh, I see you like Unara. Oh, yes."
I'll give a shrug, like one woman is the same as the next woman, but inside it's just like cantina saxophones and like black hearts popping out all around the place, and he's just like, "Fuck Trollo, I'm stealing that girl across the galaxy."
Yes. He says, "Yeah, she's a rare beauty."
If you like tentacle porn.
He says, "I mean, you don't?"
No. I prefer something closer to my own species. I'll say, trying to like muster as much like disgust for this Twi'lek as I can lie.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good to me. We'll come back to the other guys for a second. So you guys are. It's a couple of minutes later, nearly at the start of the fight, and you've made your preparations now. The two of you, and you can see your opponent is a. Let's roll a dice and find out.
And Crom is he's not hesitant to start rubbing down the tight muscles of this fighter as he's facing out on the crowd that he's about to face. He's just rubbing him down. He's saying like just straight out of Rocky's, Mickey's. It's like, so you're scum if you lose, but hey, pink Twi'lek. And he's
all right. So it's a Zabrak. Very near human. They have horned heads, and he has his head shaved, and he just has. You can see, like not leather, more like linen wraps around his hands and his feet, and then he also has like shock knuckles, sort of. So like vibro knuckles, except that they do stun damage. And he looks loose enough, but he does look nervous at the screaming of all the crowd and everything like that. He looks a little bit freaked out. He's obviously not a total veteran, but he's trying to bring that across.
Gotcha. Well, I guess for my part, I'll pull off my shield and have borrowed someone's, or borrowed the house's, like, what are they called? Stun batons? Whirl it around.
graphic stick or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll it around with some reasonable competence, but not a huge amount because, this isn't exactly his thing, but it kind of is at the same time. He's not classically trained. He's So I guess he gets into the ring and waits for go time.
Yep.
Um,
What are they called? Star Wars has too many aliens, man. I can't even think of the goddamn names.
just say a being, said somebody.
A Balchinian.
This long-necked alien stands and he says, "Species of all kinds, you have come to see blood, and you will not be disappointed in this next bout, for we shall see blood. Oh yes, we shall see blood. We have two of the most terrifying fighters in the Outer Rim here tonight." And he points out to the Zabrak. He says, "In this corner, we have Waka." And the crowd is like, crickets. He says, "Hailing from Dathomir, dark planet. He is trained in 79 arts of combat. And here we have," and he looks down to his notepad, "Chenwix, an anomaly among his people. The Ithorians usually peace-loving. He was isolated and exiled from his home planet for his sheer thirst for blood." Then you guys are brought into the actual pit. You're made to touch gloves, and then a bell rings. Bang!
May I?
Yeah?
May I run immediately to like the greasiest, scummiest alien I can see behind me, and use skullduggery to? I want to put down all my credits on my man Cheswick's to take him down in the third. Specifically the third, right? But so I got 250 credits, and I just want to run on this guy who looks like he's taking in bets, and just be yeah, here it is. It's this guy in the third. Maybe I get my money back if he just murders the guy in the first, but no, not even third round. No, okay, but that's it. And,
yeah, so he's a Doug. He walks in his hands, and his feet, his legs are his actual hands. And he looks up and he's like, which is, "You're seriously betting on the Ithorian?" And he says, "Yeah, I'll give you 2-1," and you slap the money down. You should probably roll actually before I give you 2-1. Here's
right. Yeah. I'll throw some skullduggery out. So I got 2 cunning and 1 rank in the skill. So 1 yellow and 1 green. And you want 2 purple on that or more?
I do. I'm gonna make it a purple and a red.
Nice. And there it goes. But ow! Here comes the threat, baby.
That's a big threat. Okay, yeah. So he says, "Yeah, okay, yeah, 2-1. There's no fucking way this guy's winning." 3 threats, quite a lot of threat. I wonder what that's going to be. Maybe the Dathomirian is a lot better at fighting than he looks.
Excellent.
Okay.
And I'll turn to the fight.
Yeah, sounds good. So, cool, please.
All right. Let's just add A2 because we are definitely ready for this fight. Do I want to upgrade it? I probably
It'll be. Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I'll just roll it. We might need that for later. Oh, how? Oh, yeah, that's way better than I thought it'd be.
That's really good. All right, you go first.
Groovy. I go first, anyways. Okay, so I can't find like the shocks like a shock stick weapon it'd be damage-wise. It's like brawn +1 or something.
It's usually just brawn plus something. I wonder. It's probably +1 if it's stunned, but I can get the generator up here in a second. Have a look.
Yeah, I'm looking around because I don't want to cheat it too much. I thought I had it like somewhere, but it's kind of hard to find. Shock prod, Thunderbolt shock prod. Huh, that could be it.
Are you looking up shock fist or shock gloves?
No, it'd be a melee weapon for me. That's my thing.
Probably powered melee, right? I would think.
Yeah. So far, I found a shock prod.
160 and 177 on the actual page count of the book.
Here's a stun club. So it looks like it's melee. It's damage +3. So brawn +3.
Okay. It's your shock club from
That's
the
a pretty
core.
basic one that costs 200 credits. So I think that's pretty much the most basic there.
Yeah, that's probably what they'd have. They
Yeah.
might, yeah, they might have a shock prod, but that'd be weird. So that you were saying that was in the core. I just want to, so just make sure I have it right.
Oh yeah, it was in
Uh,
in Edge of the Empire. It's like 160 or within 11 pages down.
okay, give me
And it'll
two
be the
seconds here.
table will be there somewhere. The graphy
Subcores,
stick, I
explosives.
think.
Oh, the gaffy stick?
Okay. I had a
That's
stun club, which is
no.
actually from
Oh
the
yeah, sorry.
Yavin. But I
Yeah,
mean, whatever you find is fine.
no, the stun club is kind of what I wanted. So,
Yeah.
you
Perfect.
said +3 damage?
Yes.
Okay, and it's stun only or something? Any other properties?
Disorient 2. I guess you can activate that in a crit. Maybe is how I would assume.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know how this will go, but I guess the first thing I will do is immediately bum rush this dude,
Hmm.
and you guys might notice a slight change of demeanor to where he is, well, for lack of a better word, way more serious. And since I am now engaged with this guy, he probably needs to make a fear check
Fear
because
check.
I have a fear check against just a 1, and I will upgrade it because I have the fearsome talent.
This guy's
Sick.
fighting Cthulhu.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be his discipline, right?
Yes. Or yeah, I think sometimes it can be cool, but I'll totally upgrade that check against him because make him take a red instead of a purple,
Okay.
and hope.
Discipline.
Oh, I'll flip over that destiny point there.
Discipline goes off willpower,
And
right?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, he's not going to do well here. Okay.
Okay,
Just a
so
threat.
okay, that's good. I'll just use it if it's all right. He sees an Ithorian go from very polite to all of a sudden, a very serious, taut face, and then is like, oh shit, which is probably appropriate,
Yeah.
which would, I think, give me a boost
Yep.
to this check where I whack him with a stick. Success, but 2 threat. So that was 3 plus brawn, so 6, 7 damage.
All right.
Minus this, so 7 stun, of course.
Yeah.
And what would the threat? Oh, wait a minute here. I should probably roll my 1 yellow, 1 blue. It comes up with nothing. Okay. Apologies.
No worries. Okay. So he looks a little bit startled as you run up to him, kind of confused. He was thinking he would leap all over you. Nonetheless, you catch him with the shock maul, and he gets slapped. But as he does, he rolls away and rolls up behind you. He's going to try and kick you in the head.
Oh dear. Let's see here.
So because of the threat, I'm going to give him slightly better melee. So it'll be okay. So I think he goes to kick you in the head. You duck, but his other foot sweeps around underneath you and is going to knock you on your ass. I think.
Okay. So kind of have to spend
I'm
times.
maneuvering
Okay.
him.
No, you can yeah. So they said pretty much natural weapons or whatnot. So I think what I'm going to do up is stand up here, suddenly grab this guy in the like what is it called? Grab this guy's collars.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? You know what I'm talking about on his
Yeah, I know
clothes.
what you mean.
God, why can't I not speak right? And do an Ithorian bellow right in his face.
Nice.
Let's see here. It's essentially a ranged attack at short, so 1 difficulty, I think. Let's see. I spent a maneuver. Ooh,
I'm going to
I'm
up that
not.
to
I
a
should.
red rather than a purple.
That sounds fine for me. I'm just wondering if I should. You know what? I am. I'm going to spin to 2 more strain, since I had to spin a maneuver to get up to aim, which in this case I think is in the on camera would be him taking an additional amount of actually smacking the guy in the head and his
Yeah.
hurry to get up and ready. And let's let's roll this check. Good. Oh, wow, interesting.
Interesting indeed. All right, so
Okay.
it's going to hit. So tell me what the damage is, please.
Let's see here. That is 7 damage. Slow firing 2 means I can't use it for another 2 rounds. And I have an advantage. Can't use that for anything. Dang. With that 1 advantage, I think I will use it to regain some of the strain that to regain one of the strain that I just
Yeah,
spent.
that sounds good.
Wait, I have a lot of strain. Oh, go
So you
ahead. Sorry.
grab this guy by the collar, you pull him right up close to you, and then your whatever it is, 4 throats and 2 mouths, just like whoa, ridiculous thrumming noise comes out of you. And this guy, you can see like his ears begin to bleed as he's almost pulling away. The despair.
Let's see what happens.
So I think you go to do that. Maybe he puts his hand in your gale or something.
Could punches it and makes it to where it's pretty much going to take. I'm not going to be able to use that for a little while until I actually have some legitimate rest.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me. So yeah, you grab him by the collar and you scream at him, and then he just like gets both of his hands open and just like slap either side, and like the force like dazes you to the point, and then you try and get that kind of rumble up again, and you're just unable to. All right.
That hurt. And I guess since I illustrated that I picked him up by his collar, even some of that despair can also be the fact that I am also without melee weapons, really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're just grappling him at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
So he then is going to, as you're holding him, he slapped the various mouths that you have. He's gonna pull back this punch. You can see like the vibration from his knuckles as he goes to strike.
Ooh.
I'm going to use point.
He's going for vibro knuckles now. Ooh.
Well, they're stunned, but yeah, they make that noise.
Okay, good.
Do you have any defense?
No, I don't, because I kicked my I threw my shield down.
Okay, so it's 1 for melee, right? The difficulty.
2 for melee.
2, okay. Thank you. All right, here we
no
go.
problem.
Okay.
Ooh.
So he'll hit you with an advantage. Okay, so you will take. Yeah, I'm still new enough that I can't really
That's
improv
fine.
NPCs on the spot. You know what I mean? That's like the one thing that I can't do yet. So I just got to look some stuff up.
Brawn 3 and stun vibro knucklers or shock gloves or.
Yeah, let's go with
yeah.
shock gloves. No, let's go with shock gloves. So it's got stun 3. Okay, no, so you can't do that.
So you spend. You got to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so he can spend an advantage to activate the quality, right?
It takes 2.
Takes 2. Okay.
Or else I would have totally disoriented his face last time.
That makes sense.
Well,
okay, so then you will take 3.
Yeah, that's not gonna hurt me since I have a soak of 5.
Nice.
So, and most of that, so he thinks he should just hit the same spot he was hitting, but it's already so full of pain that there's just no more there. But that bit of advantage, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if Crom took a point of strain there, just watching his fighter take a
Yeah,
look.
that sounds good. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll tack that down.
Sure. And let's see here. I guess for my turn, I will probably take a. I think it'd probably take like 2 maneuvers to like disengage enough to pick up like a shield and not the shield. To pick up the what's it called?
The stun.
The shock stick and the shield.
shock
So like
stick.
maneuver, like maneuver pretty much. So
Mhm.
I duck under that thing and pick up one, and then roll to the shield with the other maneuver. Stand up and try to whack this guy with the blue, the incandescent blue crackling, whatchamacallit, shock stick. Man, I cannot speak today. I hate this so much. Okay, should we keep upgrading the melee checks against this dude? Or, I mean, do you want him to be able possibly hit me with the despair again?
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna dark side him.
All right. I've marked down the additional strain that I took, and let's roll this baby.
Oh, nice.
Success. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then with the 2 advantage, does that have any qualities? I don't remember if it did.
It has disorient.
Disorient 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Disorient 2 takes 2 setback dice. What does that do? To just give them a setback dice.
Yeah, give them a setback dice for
for the rating.
Pretty much the rest of their combat or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Disorient for the next 2
damage?
rounds. So 3, 4, 7 damage, stun only.
You're gonna end him. You're gonna knock him over. Go tell me how.
So yeah. So pretty much I rolled over the shield first to just like grab it and then have it in front of me when he kind of tried to like stomp me in the face, and when he did that, I would have like overbalanced him, picked up the stun club, and just like hit him in the head as we were both lying on the ground, and from there just kind of stood up slowly and there just look around, kind of not feeling. Yeah, no, not look around. How would he do that? He'd look over the guy and who is now unconscious and say, "My apologies."
Yeah, he's just like sprawled face down in the bloody sand. There's mostly shouts of disbelief and anger, as many people lose a lot of money. And this Doug, who you had tried to, or who you had made the bet with, is just like incandescent with rage. Like, oh, it's a fix. It has to be a fix. This is bullshit. But nonetheless, he takes out the creds, slams them onto the table, and pushes them in your direction. Crump.
And I'll scoop them up, but I'm gonna leave half of them there actually. So I don't think I make anything. And I was like, I said in the third. And I'll shake the Doug's foot, and I'll walk off to collect my fighter.
Yeah, nice. Go ahead.
Oh, and I guess from there, I'd suggest, I believe we should speak with Karis and ask him about facilities that allow fighters such as myself to recover, and their sponsors or compatriots to aid and assist with them. The backstage, where we kind of wanted to check.
I couldn't agree with you more, Chenwicks. Between you, me, and the Doug, I did not see a pink Twi'lek. And I just start following Chenwicks as he leads on to hopefully where we'll interact with our friend Brago.
So I think Brago at this stage, you probably would have left that Rodian. Is that the idea? To go back inside?
Yeah, I didn't want to overstay my welcome or be gone for too long.
So you could get onto the comms if you wanted to tell the rest what you had seen, or you could try and meet up with them.
I do have a comm on my utility belt.
Yeah, I've got one too. So once I'm safely away from everyone and don't think I'm being watched or listened in on, I'll just whisper it what I've found. She's in room C7, second level. There's some roll nature, whatever that thing is, in there with her. She's manacled, and that's just probably the least of it. And then the message would end.
Sounds like our job's half done. Forgot to buy binders before we left our last
actually have
Huttesian
those.
port. Oh, there we go. And
Um,
I'll make a point of like rubbing off some of the stun blood that's covered our combatant here, because he's covered in the melee that he just performed.
It's like, yeah, and I guess while they were talking and starting to rub down, I'd speak to Karis and ask him, are there, if there were those facilities that I talked about for.
He said, "Oh yeah, of course. Just head down there." He points down a hallway, and you figure like from the general layout that you're pretty much parallel to the pathway that would have gone straight from where you were in the triangle.
Okay, so let's see here. Making a mental map, we might be able to circle back and around and get. Is there a way upstairs, I guess, as we maybe kind of look through these halls?
Yes, there is. As you're walking, you can see a stairway, but there is a Gamorrean standing there.
Let's see here. I guess I'll ask the Gamorrean where the privy is as I, continue, kind of continue onwards
Yeah,
to a place where we can conference. Sorry.
No, you're all good. He jerks his thumb further down the hallway.
Thank you, kind sir. And once we're in the privy, lock up and say, well, what do you say? If we can find a way upstairs, in the back room, we might be able to get our other compatriot in. What are your thoughts? Good. What are your thoughts, Crom?
Well, I'm ready to act. If we got the makings of a quarterback sneak here, well, Hutt ball ain't nothing to laugh at. Let's get it done.
I do not believe we can sneak by that guard too terribly easily. We will probably have to take him by surprise. Are you proficient in such matters, or should you leave this with me once again?
Oh, I could stumble forward with it at this bum, counting out my credit chits, but that might do a little subterfuge, a little deception.
Very well. At the time that you do that, I will attempt to take care of the guard in question, and once we have set ourselves up, perhaps we will be able to inform our compatriot of a way to get him up here as well, because I think we could use him.
All right.
Of course.
And so yeah, what I imagine I'll do is I'll strut up at least right up to beside him, just counting out or even if it's I don't know, just scans on a pad, like how many credits I have, just counting it out. I'll at least try to, if not get behind him, get right up beside him so that I'm looking all interesting with my money in hand. And I could use deception or skullduggery or anything else, whatever might apply.
Either of those two, whichever you prefer.
All right, let's do skullduggery because, yeah. Well, how many purples you want on that?
It'll be 2.
2 sounds good. Skullduggery, cunning. All right, and I got 1. Okay. 1 of each. Got 2 cunning and 1 rank. Flat even. So I'm just standing there, bold-faced with my money in hand, I think. But
Yeah, he
Well,
kind of looks in your direction. I'm like, huh? But
and I
no more
guess
than that.
that's the point. I guess that's the point where I have to strike regardless. I'm gonna straight up upgrade this check. I accidentally, by purpose, I believe, kept the stun baton
Yeah.
and was totally going to give it back to him. If it's all right, I'll take strain to 2 strain to have like aimed
Yep.
twice. Psychologically, I think this is him like just waiting for the right moment and knows if he wait, and knows if he waits too much longer, it'll go all wrong.
Yep.
And that last second, let's see what happens. Upgraded the check and what? Oh, I clicked reset roll instead of roll.
Suspense.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
E-
Uh-oh.
with the advantage, I would like to pass this off as me totally, as him kind of having just shifted a bit and him not realizing what just happened at all.
Maybe he's because there's 3 there. Maybe he's really focused on my money that I got out in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
pretty much. Yeah,
he just kind of hears this little whoosh, like a,
yeah.
but he's kind of like, what? And he kind of turns to see you like stumbling a little bit, but doesn't think too much of it.
And considering the situation, I don't think Crom could do much more than just try to punch the guy right in the jaw. And he ain't got no skill in that, but he got 2 brawn. Is that cool? What kind of difficulties do I need for that? Is that 2 to 2?
It'd be
2?
2, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's give her up. Yeah.
Oh boy.
2 greasy
is gonna
brawn
go-
coming right at your chin. Flat. I just spill my money all over his feet.
I think maybe you like you lift your hand high as if to go for a punch, and then you like just decide not to, and it just like drop a chit on the ground or something. This Gamorrean now is definitely suspicious. You guys are acting weird, and he's going to say, "Listen, I don't know what you guys are doing here, but you need to leave."
My humblest apologies. We should probably meet up with the rest of our party. Yes, thank you. Good day.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
So, yeah.
yes. And then Crom just picks up his money off the ground and he follows his Ithorian friend out.
Such a clusterfuck.
We have a way up if we can if we want to go loud. But perhaps we should consult our good friend about another, perhaps more subtle way, though he does not seem to be the subtle type. Neither of us do, really. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make judgments. So he's just rambling because, it's a bit of a nervous situation.
Oh yeah.
And
So you guys
think...
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think our Crom he'll like click the call button on the comms, see what's up, get a heads up from his buddy Brago.
Yeah, I was be like, what are you 2 nerf herders doing?
We won one fight that was in the ring, and we kind of botched another one.
What do you want to do?
If we, I'd like to get us together somehow in here. There's a way upstairs. What have you found on your end? Perhaps we should, perhaps we should meet back at the bar and speak.
Yeah, get off these open comms. And
these are
It's,
open comms, right?
because
These are
it's-
comms for our starting gear.
and
Yeah.
Crom says that as if that's what he's caring about, but what he wants to get to the bar for another drink. It's been almost
Right.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like private comms. It's almost like a phone call. So you guys
Sorry,
push your way back through the sweaty pit and then into the actual main party. You can see that people are getting drunker and drunker, and that even some of the guards are getting drunker and drunker as the night goes on. the chaos element is becoming a lot more evident, and you can find Braig, I guess, stern-faced, standing at the bar.
Yeah, I think I'll, begin to recount what happened in somewhat self-effacing terms. I barely managed to defeat this guy, that type of thing. I mean, it's probably a little bit of a false, of a false front as far as that's concerned. It's false humility.
Mhm.
But something a Hutt would probably want to do, and then be like, I found a way up. We found a way up, but it's guarded. What do you got? I mean, you told us where the.
I got a
Wow,
weak-willed
sorry.
Rhodian. I got access to the comms room and security. I got a little plan fermenting in my mind. I'm thinking,
Most excellent.
I get on those comms at the security room. I know I'm like making the gods laugh by saying this in front of Lloyd, but Kesara, I'm going to go into that comms room and force that Rhodian at blaster point to tell the pighead to bring the girl to you guys as she's needed for the show now. We're going to bail. While we're trying to bail, I'm going to override the laser walls near the hut and flood in excess AC to the room to fuel what hopefully will be an inferno.
Well, I gotta say, that sounds fast.
Then we get the girl and we bail.
Huh.
I'm so glad that you guys have a plan because it's been like 2 hours of.
I know. I saw the time and I was like, okay, so a situation is not going to present itself, so I have to force one, and that's the best I got so far. So I'd say that to you guys in the kind of tone of like, this is what we're gonna do, but I'd leave just enough of like tone and inflection on it to be like, tell me if something in that is ridiculous.
I gotta say, there's a lot of money to be made betting on these fights, but no, it's good, it's quick. And the crow.
Is there more money?
Too.
More money to be made on the fights? Because really, like 6,000 credits, that's not very much, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been hitting flat straight even in the last bet I made, so no, we better make this job work, come think of it.
Yeah, you'll never make as much money on the fight. Like 2,000 credits is real good pay each. It's really good.
Definitely.
Right, okay.
Yes.
I just look at like the equipment and stuff, and like my blaster's worth 300, and then I look at the picture of them and think, is 2,000 really that much money?
Yeah, no, it's pretty decent. Like it's good pay for the kind of the level you guys are. If we're looking at in game terms, it's good pay.
There you go.
And I feel like trying to steal anything other than the girl is just like compounding how difficult this will be. So I'm not interested in stealing any art or sculptures or the like. The thing is, then there's a trail. We've got to go sell it to a fence. I'd rather just have the Hutt credit and be in hyperspace by the time that Sinasa wants to come at him.
Well, let's let's lay the press on this Rhodian fella.
I was going to murder him.
Yeah. Hey, he's like patting his open comms. He's like, "Are we at the bar yet?" No, but yeah. Waste that punk.
Perhaps. Perhaps we should take some consideration to disguising the woman after we have acquired her.
That's a pretty excellent idea, actually. Now, what we need is like dye, like food coloring or dye or something like that. If we could make her a black, yellow, green, or whatever Twi'lek, that's going to make our job a bit easier.
Inspiration, if I could give it, it's a very good idea.
You telling me there's black Twi'leks? Because I got buckets of grease back on the ship. I mean, that's what I do.
Let's grease up a Twi'lek.
I'll be first in line.
I feel like I need to get my internet browser history. But yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so the idea would be that you go, Bray, go into the Rhodian, and then you like threaten him, and you want the Gamorreans to bring the Twi'lek to these two. Where are you two going to be?
Going back to meet him.
Question.
Going back to meet him where he was. That Gamorrean, I'm going to get on the security comms and tell him to bring
in the back. Okay.
Yeah, which is needed. So I'm going to go up to the security room and then like knock on the door and wait. And when this Rodian appears, I'm like, look, I'm really sorry. And I'll look back and forth as if like I'm, genuinely not wanting him to get into trouble. This dude I'm about to straight up kill. And say, I've left my Geo Cube here. Do you mind if we check, like, is it underneath the chairs or underneath the benches? And I'll begin like looking even past him to see if it's there. I'm like, I know the show's going to be soon. I don't want to miss it. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. But come on in, have a look.
I'll begin looking around the place, and then I'll point like near him, like, is that down there? And when he goes to bend down to grab it, I'm just going to bring my vibro knuckled hand up and just smash it into the back of his head and try and smash the front of his head into the desk for double chance of knocking him out.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So you want to use your brawl skill?
Yeah, I guess so. Wouldn't it be melee actually, considering it's the weapon attack?
So the vibro knuckles are brawl because you're using your fists. It's basically just brass knuckles. If you were using like a vibro weapon, then it would be melee.
I'll use the vibro spear that I've got. Then it just looks kind of like a lightsaber hilt at the moment. Then when I press it, it's like vroom, vroom, and I'll just swing it around and bring it down, trying to smash as I said, hit him in the back of the head to knock his face first into something solid. Really just knock him out.
So put your dice in, and then you want 2 purple dice on top, and I'm going to give you a boost because he is not expecting it, which is a blue dice.
Okay, so I've got 2 yellows, 2 greens, a blue, and 2 purples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god! Wow, that's
glorious.
Incredible. So that symbol, the lightsaber, that's a triumph, and you have 2 of those, and those are like the best possible thing that could happen.
Wait.
So
awesome. Well, yeah, I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly as you say.
Yeah, and he wakes up tied up with a vibro spear to his throat, and then just like a piece of paper or whatever actually they wouldn't have paper, would they? They've got computers. A data pad in my hand that's facing him with my vibro spear to his throat, and it's just got words written on it like a teleprompter. And then once I can see from his eyes, like they've got back to the normal, what are they, giant blue eyes or something? That I don't think he's too concussed. I'll just like give him a nod, like, speak, motherfucker.
Oh, why?
The words he can see are, you, Gomorian, bring the Twi'lek, the pink one. The master wishes to have her dance now. Don't be rough with her. There's some guests he wishes to impress. You'll place her into their care.
He looks at you and he understands, and he gets up and he goes to the console and then he says exactly what you told him to say.
Cool. What was the... Is that him typing?
Yeah.
Now, what did he type?
No, he's just like activating the comms he needs.
Okay, sweet, cool.
Yeah. You don't think there's any, like, you don't think this guy has the balls to try anything.
Cool.
But does he need to die? Just kidding, sorry.
So you guys have moved back through the sweaty pit into the back corridor again, and you're kind of you just imagine you like standing just around the corner from where this Gamorrean, who you tried to hit several times and missed, is standing, and you hear him like lumbering down the stairs, like you can hear a female voice saying, "What's happening? What's happening? I don't understand. Let me go." Yeah, he comes down to the bottom of the stairs, and he's got her like by the arm. She's now covered in some sort of like a sack, like a robe almost, to cover her. And he grabs her by the arm, and he walks around the corner. And he sees you. Oh, that's why you guys were hanging around earlier, I assume.
No, I think I would go so far as to try and say something like, "Oh, come on now, lead her on to the ship," and now out of a persona, because he wants on the record, but not really. He wants it to look like, yeah, this Hutt just led the woman into the ship willingly, and because that's part of the present.
Okay, so he's been told to bring her to you guys because she's supposed to dance, right?
Definitely.
So he kind of looks and he's like, "Oh, that's not
Why
what I was
are you
told to do."
I'll tell the Rodian when I hear this over the comms.
Yeah.
I'll say, inform the green pighead that we've paid handsomely and that there'll be a portion commissioned to him to act as her pimp bodyguard while she's dancing for us on the ship.
Fuck yes, so good. Yeah, so he does. He explains that to the Gamorrean, and you see him lift a finger to his ear. He's like, huh? 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 And you see these fucking pig eyes, just like dollar signs. And he says, "All right, all right. Well, orders are." So he just begins bringing her.
And Grom will be happy to show you the way, my man. Happy to do so. And he'll just walk proudly in front of the guy.
Plus, you'll get a free
all
show.
the way to the Chrome.
Now, her head is still exposed. Like she has, if you imagine, it's almost like a potato sack or something on, just like a shift that's covering her. So her arms, the bottom of her legs, and her head is still very visible.
Take off your fighting gear and put it on her, so when you walk into the slave pit, she just looks like another fighter coming.
Well, we have the Gamorrean with us, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot about that.
In this case, I'd like to offer to the my good master the why do we keep on missing Crom's name? I do believe a costume change was needed, and I also have perhaps pulled out. I think when we were back thinking that we needed to change the way someone looked, I ordered essentially space blueberry juice as my next drink, a whole huge amount of it.
Yeah.
It has a nice property of staining people, a nice purple.
That sounds good.
Pink and blue makes purple. Nice.
Yup. And when the Gamorrean looks in question, those really creepy eyes that he suddenly that he can kind of get, not he, that Chadwick's can get kind of back into play and say, "Don't question it. You have your orders.
Yeah.
Follow along."
Yeah, it'd be like as I'm rubbing her down with the blueberry juice, it'd be like, "Have you seen worse today?"
And she's like, "Get your fucking hands off me, you scumbag!"
You are welcome to do it yourself, but it does need to be done.
And she lifts up her hands, which are still chained and manacled. She has these steel mittens, so she can't move her fingers or anything, and they're tied crossways, so she can't use her. Even so, she would brought it down. Her hands are still manacled. She says, "How am I supposed to do that? This is degrading."
Quit teasing her, Chenwigs. I keep finishing off rubbing her down.
You're scum.
Yeah, but it gets a lot worse than this.
Yeah, so you managed to cover in the blueberry juice. Can you give me or skullduggery, I think we'll call it, to see how effective it is?
2 or 1 purple? 2?
2.
Nice.
Ooh, upgrade it if you want. This sounds important.
Yeah. So do I just click the silver button up there?
That's it.
And then I just roll. It'll do all the work.
No, you need to.
Oh, okay. I didn't upgrade the. Should I have upgraded my skill to something?
So
well, I got a success anyways, but
you would turn your green into a yellow, so you have 2 yellows.
All right. Well, there's the other yellow. Okay.
Oh,
got my success here.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's 3 successes and a threat in that case, right? Looks like. Because you don't have the advantage on an extra. Okay. All right. Yeah, she is now a bluish purple. I guess well versed in oiling scantily clad women. Crom, you managed to cover her extremely well, and there's not a patch of her that's not now purple, sort of bluey purple, which is also luckily a common Twi'lek color. I think the threat will be the Gamorrean's getting increasingly weirded out by the situation. He's increasingly just like, oh, I mean, is this normal? I mean, I think that the Hutt paid a lot of money for this woman. What's going on? But nonetheless, he's got the orders, and so you guys march through the sweaty fighting pit, and then you walk out into the actual main area where the Hutt is sitting. I'd like you guys both to roll cool. Actually, that's called, I think cool or discipline. I think cool.
Discipline works better for me, but if we're going for cool, I will totally do that.
See, I'm not really sure, because I cool and vigilance just for initiative.
I really am not sure.
Yeah, because I think, in this case, you're trying to keep your cool. You know what I mean? That's what you're trying to do, not freak out while the Hutt is looking at you.
Right. I'll roll cool. Presence. So yeah, I got 2 skill against 2 purple.
Purple and a red because it's the Hutt.
Ooh. 1 sec, I want to see. Purple and a red. Intimidating. I just want to see if something. This might actually let me roll slightly better, but I need to zoom in.
Okay, Crumb, you are sweating bullets as you walk through the main hall, and you're like, okay, it's not far. We're just gonna make it across this hallway, and we're gonna be home safe. But you're just like sweating, just like really, really visibly sweating, and you like risk a glance in the direction of the Hutt, and he's looking right at you.
With that kind of failure, geez, I don't know. Do I draw on him? No, no. I'll just fumble. I'll just bumble there for a bit while I see what happens around me as I've been had. I'm probably about to hurry on with the plan, though.
I guess I should roll. I almost want to see if instead of just give the dead eye stare with coercion, but that doesn't make so much sense.
Okay, you're fine.
Success with advantage. Okay, and I was the one who was kind of with her anyways.
Yeah, I think your advantage will be that you make Crom look less shady, right? You just have this like professional look on you, like this is just a job. You're with the Gamorrean, and you don't look at the Hutt. You keep your eye to the ground, which is what you're supposed to do. And I think that in combination, you definitely look nervous, and I think the Hutt will notice, but he won't make as big a deal out of it now with that advantage. And you guys walk just like perilously slowly through this packed place, and there's like people dancing and stuff. And at one stage, like some sweaty human like bumps into the Twi'lek, and a bit of the purple rubs off, and there's like a little slash of pink on her arm. But nobody seems to notice, and you can just keep pushing your way through until you get outside, and you can see your ship. It's maybe a couple of 100 feet away, and you're on the way there.
So as I'm watching from the security screen, as soon as I see these two in the painted Twi'lek move through the last door, that's when I nod to the Rhodian with my Vibra spear at his head, and he pushes this little lever with his 2 fingers up to full, and the laser walls inside going.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to flood the AC into the room so there's plenty of fuel, and then lastly I'm going to lock the doors.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm going to make him make a computers check. He's very good at this, but just to be sure that he makes it all under the strain. Oh yeah, he fucking nails it. So as you say, everything, you're pointing the spear at the guy, and he's just like, okay, don't kill me, don't kill me. And he's almost like a musician, just playing this enormous keyboard, and just things are going everywhere, and you can see just all these green readings going straight to red, and the heat readings, the oxygen readings, all sorts of straight into the red. Yeah, and then the door is lock. And you can see inside people are whoa, and even the Hutt's what the and there's much confusion as Gamorreans are looking around, what the fuck. The droid on the top is looking, he's scanning, and he sees one of the generators begin to and if his eyes could go wide, they would, but they can't. And so you just zoom on his scanning eye as there's enormous crash and rumble as you guys are moving towards your ship. What are you going to do with this road? Are you going to let him live?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I secure after the last set is complete. I'm like put in the codes to free up our ship. Actually, no, delete that our ship was even fucking here to begin with.
Too good. You're so careful. It's good.
And as soon as I've been a DM for a while.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, he does it. You have him firmly under your grasp, and he, you see him like move an image of your ship onto the thing, and then he like hits the remove whatever button, and it just like fizzles away. And yeah,
I'll say to him now. Last thing before we leave, override and overheat this room too. Give us enough time to escape.
You let me live.
I start cutting one of his hands free. You're coming with us.
I'll come with you. Yeah, I'll work for you.
And as soon as he overrides the room, I'll kill him while he's still connected to the chair with one strap. And then I'll just walk out casually.
Yes. Yeah, cool guys walk away from explosions. The doors close behind you as you walk away towards the ship, and you just can see like smoke and stuff coming from some of the windows in the Hutt Palace, screams and stuff. As you guys rush onto your ship with the Twi'lek. So let's have a piloting check to get the ship into gear quickly.
Right.
It's going to be
space, right?
Yeah, difficulty 2 with a setback because of the stress.
All right. So all I got is just the characteristic skill. I don't have any ranks, but here it goes. Ooh, to fail and all kinds of advantage.
Wow. Jesus. I find these particularly hard. When you have that much advantage, it's like, is that not just a success? So you're just like, you get out of the ship and you just like run for the cockpit and you're just like hammering buttons and stuff and you flicking switches, but you miss one of the 2 of the switches and whatever. What the hell is that 5 advantage going to be? Any ideas?
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is to...
Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
So is this to get us up off planet?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Interesting.
I was going to say for the fail, maybe Crom's a little more obsessed with his obsessive compulsive nature, so he just like stows his tools and his pistol right back under the console. So he's like, he doesn't even actually get even to starting to gun the engines at all. He's just bumbling around finding a cigarette and a light, all kinds of stuff.
It doesn't start, but that many advantage. Maybe some of the survivors are also getting into their ships and starting to lift off too, expecting more bad things to happen. And we might be able to get out in the confusion.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, so you would see people from the other side. So this door is definitely locked, the one that you're at. You'd see from the other side of the building, like way the other side, you can see like dots and stuff moving, like sprinting towards ships. And you can see like the orange glow now coming from the back of the building as the fire begins to spread. And people start rushing towards ships and fucking pushing their way onto their ships. And just you can see like engines just starting all around you. The Twi'lek says, "Will you get these goddamn chains off of me?"
In a minute. What the hell did you do? What? Yeah, they actually have hell there. What the frick did you do there?
Killed the Hutt. I thought I'd locked all the doors, I'll say, with like quizzically looking at this screen, shaking my head that all these dots are going free, not screaming on fire. But I'll ignore it for now.
If I had a jaw, it would like be opened right now. So
you could open your curved flat nose hole.
Yeah, Chenwick's is like speechless. You killed the Hutt?
And maybe now that Crom's got a moment, he's got his lit stogie in mouth and he's ready to fly, and he'll say, "Somebody strap that Twi'lek in and start greasing her down. We need another costume change." And I'll start pumping in the coordinates here for our next foray.
I'll take care of it, I'll say, and I'll take her back behind the cockpit to degrease her / intrigue her.
She says, "Take off my chains, please."
Oh, I got a cutter. I can do that later, but she's got to be strapped in for now.
As I'm like taking off these chains, I'll say, "Do you know where you're headed?"
I can only assume it's to another fucking hut.
That's right.
Don't do that.
What's his name? What's the guy's name?
Troonol.
Rotundus Hut. Troonol Hut. He desires you. We were hired to take you as property from Sinister back to Hutt.
Please don't do that.
Gladly.
Your eyes light up. Really?
I'll unlock the manacles at her hand and place my blaster pistol in her hand. Say, can you fly a ship?
Yeah, I can fly a ship.
Right. We'll kill the flat face first. Maybe the other one can be reasoned with.
She looks at you like, I don't want to kill anybody.
You're going to have to unless you want to stay a slave for the rest of your life.
I have my ways.
You got
I
any
think
money
this is
somewhere? Any credits stashed away?
Yeah, I have wealth. If that's what you guys are after. I have enough. What's the Hut paying you?
I need 2,500 credits. That's the cost of your freedom.
I don't have them here, but she says and waves a hand. I don't think you'll need the credits. Can you make a what?
It's not for me. It's not for me. It's for Chrome.
I think discipline. Yeah. Difficulty 1 purple and 1 red.
1 purple, 1 red. I got 2 soccer balls.
Plus your discipline stat.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. You can just roll those, and we'll just figure it out from there. Okay, sweet.
Failure with advantage.
2
Failure
successes.
with threat.
2 stars,
Oh wait,
2 soccer
success,
balls.
you're right. I'm dumbass.
Yeah, so you have 2 successes and 1 threat. So she says, I don't think you'll be needing the credits. And you're like, no, I think I will be the credits for these guys. And she kind of looks surprised and then smiles. She says, I'm not just a Twi'lek slave. I don't know. No. Just please don't bring me to the Hut. If you bring me to where I want to go, I can pay you the credits.
Well, the flat face in there works for the Hut. He's his man through and through, and he serves his master loyally. You'll have to do away with him one way or another. And Crom, he's a man of credits. You'll need to pay him, otherwise he'll take us both back to the Hut. We need a pilot to get where you're going, I'm assuming, and he's the best I know in the Outer Rim.
Feel free to let me know when the most awkward point for me to come in, possibly unarmed, is.
I'll roll some perception on that because I'm interested in credits. No,
Because I know I know that Chedwick is Chenwick is probably going to eventually go in and apologize and laid out the situation for her.
Right. I think the most dramatically interesting time would be when he says the flat face. He's the Hut's man through and through.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
and then the door opens.
Yes.
Yes.
Greetings. Shit, I actually knew her name and keep on forgetting it.
Unara.
yeah, I was
Unara,
gonna
the
say,
Twi'lek.
Oni something.
My apologies, Una, but your what is it? God damn it, Troonol the Hut wishes your presence for an indefinite amount of time. You do have my deepest apologies on this matter.
She looks up at you and she's like sitting down. You can see just like a quiet anger. And she says,
I
I am not property. I'm a living being.
I would also like to feel that way, but unfortunately that is not the way the world works. Troonol is good enough as things go, and I will do my best to make sure that, I will do my best to make sure you are treated as well as possible.
You have a
I'm afraid that
choice.
is all I can offer.
You have a choice. Don't go back. Don't go back.
I have a choice, but the friends who I have left behind, who I would leave behind, would not and would suffer greatly.
And if it's all
at my
right, Crom will chime in over the intercom. Anybody back there know how to fly this rubber ducky? She's giving me a hell of a backhand.
She says,
I'll just shake my head and be like, Texanians.
she says, you have friends who would suffer if I'm not brought back.
Yes. That is currently the how do you say it? That is currently the what Troonol has over my head.
She takes a deep
It is
breath
the-
and she closes her eyes and she says, all right, I'll go.
Just the reality in which we work, and hopefully we may find a way out to more pleasant circumstances. And thank you for understanding my position.
Yeah, she's silent.
And so I guess probably going to have a very uncomfortable and awkward trip back.
I can just
Unless
imagine you
someone doesn't
awkwardly backing out of the room.
Maybe Crom will pipe out, all right, time to strap in again. I think I'm going to light this wick. Just trying to punch it again.
I'm going to look at her after she allows him to leave, and I'm like, what's the meaning of this? We're taking you back to slavery. This is the only way.
I won't have innocent people suffer for my life.
I'll laugh.
Well,
like,
I am pretty.
who the fuck do you think you are? Like, are you living in some fantasy land?
I am pretty sure that if I am pretty sure if Chenwick's body was found, his friends wouldn't suffer for it. So you can always try to sell her on that. I don't know why I'm telling you how you should try to get my character dead. But
I'm
there's
very
something to
reluctant to help a character who won't help themselves. If she's going
It's
to be like
standard
this,
protocol
I'll shake
drug
my head.
procedure.
Yeah, you can tell that there's like I don't know, a code or something like that. She's just the second that she heard that there would be others harmed for her freedom, she just changed her demeanor entirely.
Now, I still lust for her, but I'm not going to go up against Troonol for her by myself. And I'm kind of like spurned. Like, I'm reaching out to her under the guise of saving her, but really it's obviously a motive, and so I feel scorned, and because I'm a man, I can't help but separate it. And so I'll just shake my head at her and say something like, so be it, and then I'll walk out the door back to Crom and sit next to him in the pilot chair and do whatever he needs me to help him get back to Troonol's system. At the first chance I get for rest, I will go to the ship pod, like where we sleep or whatever, and get on my hologram.
Yeah, she. You see, as the door is closed, you wouldn't see, but we would see the camera. The door is closed, and she says, "Thank you." And then you get on the hologram.
Yeah, you want to move to these guys?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, you guys are able to navigate your way pretty easily back to Hutt itself, and then to the palace of Troonol. So what's the plan? You're just going to bring her in?
Well, Chenwick's is going to definitely be in that entourage. He's probably made like home cooked. I'm sorry for pulling you into slavery again meals.
She's stoic about it. Like, she doesn't seem angry at you. She doesn't seem angry at any of you.
Yeah, he's probably going to find that a bit weird, bit disconcerting, since he hides most of his anger by an immense amount of false politeness. Um,
Crom, he just tries to stand off to the side, just off the peripheral of the slave offering. And but he's not even actually going to say so much as even introduce himself. He'll just be there behind the offering as it comes forth in front of the hut.
Yeah. So you guys land and you're able to get to the palace. And again, walking through this echoing, enormous chamber, like boots clacking on the intricate stonework. Um, until you're brought before Troonol once again, and he looks and if a Hutt could smile, that's what he does. Ooh, ha, 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 ha. Utamana, ha, ha, Jedi Twi'lek Anura. Um, and the droid says, "You have brought him a very generous gift. Troonol is very pleased with the acquisition."
I, I am very glad to have been able to execute your will in this manner, Honorable Lord. Would you wish for further details on the actions, or should that on the undertaking in question, or should that be taken care of later?
Utanaga Wacha Wunya. And the droid says, "Did you manage to take anything from his vaults?"
We did not, for I believe most of it was destroyed. We have what sensor data on that specific topic we recorded.
Kavuna.
You
The droid
we
says, "Destroyed."
indeed. This is probably where Chadwick's will start getting a little nervous, and he's for a few minutes, and then for a few moments, and then he will try to spin it like this. Um, your the the team that you pulled together felt that with this Twi'lek being sold out from under you, that that snub could not go unpunished, uh, and thus the facility with the unfortunate Hutt, the unfortunate Hutt, was destroyed. Now there is little to know. We were able to take care of the records of our presence, so it is up to you whether you or not you wish to reveal your involvement in this matter. Does this meet with your approval?
Kanta Muta Hutta. A Hutt is dead?
Not confirmed, great lord. A great many escaped despite the doors. If anyone could escape just punishment, it would be that slug.
Takawana! Watch your tongue, you speak of Hutts.
I do not possess the
Sweating
vocabulary to
bullets.
speak as ill of your enemy as you do, great lord. Thus I can only muster my inadequate human words against him. Apologies.
So he goes off on this big rant in Huttese, which I'm not going to go through. And the droid says, Lord Truno is happy that you have brought the Twi'lek to him. However, the death of a Hutt is it's shameful. It's not appropriate. That was not the mission that you were hired for. You were hired to acquire Twi'lek. Death of a Hutt is it's problematic.
You can pay us to
Sweating
fix that
bullets
too
here.
if you want, great lord.
And how would you fix it?
However you would wish.
Should we supplant ourselves as agents upon his empire? Go back in there, take over the show.
Hmm. No, there will be uh, retribution from the clan. Although they do not know, thankfully, that you were involved or that I was involved, and so
We deleted all evidence of our ship's docking there. The droid inside, I'm assuming, was pulverized by the laser inferno. As your flat, oh, I shouldn't say that in front of him. As your man slave here says, it is up to you should you wish this to be known as your handiwork or not. Great Lord.
indeed. Well, I'll pay the agreed upon 2,000 credits. And if in a month's time there has been no repercussion and no one has discovered that you were involved, nor I will have another job for you.
Not looking good on that one. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be Star Warsing the shit out of him well before that, though.
So he waves the little droid forward. He hands you each a credit chip. Yeah, he says, go now. I want some time with my prize. And he like yanks the chain that she's on and gives her a lick, just like from the top of her head.
Crom can't help but wink at her.
I'm giving her a look like you could have chose the less slimy slug here, bitch.
Yeah, and you guys can get the fuck out of Hutt space as quickly as possible, I think.
Did you get my message there, Lloyd?
Two of you can.
I didn't.
Two of you can get out. The next month is going to be finding
Fine
ways
for
to
you.
make up for this thing that he never. Just the whole month making up for something that he didn't do at all.
Well, before leaving, Crom would offer Chenwick's a sort of a what's the word? Corellian fist bump or whatever, something like that, and he's like, "Great fighting, man. I mean, you took that sucker out like it was a sack of dirt."
I thank you for your kind words on this matter. It was truly nothing.
As was your opponent, I mean, but I gotta get out of here.
I like it. Once he dismisses the compliment, you turn it into kind of a half insult. That's great.
Yeah, all right. So you guys are able to get out of Nalhuda and probably out of Hutt space, and go upon your various devious deeds. Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it.
All
Awesome.
right. Well, we managed to do something really horrible, and it sounds like only one of us felt bad about it.
Yeah, sweet. Brutal, but good. Very good.
Great game.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Thanks for watching, anyone who did.